Ms. Hooker, you are here with your mother because you say the defendant's son, Mr. Abraham, fathered your 10-month-old daughter, Kanaya. You say that Ms. Baker and her family's public denial of this child has caused you pain, and you are here for an apology and to prove her son is the father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Baker, you and your daughter are here today to represent your son, Mr. Abraham, because tragically, he was killed 3 months after the birth of this child. You say that before his death, your son expressed great doubt that he was the father of Ms. Hooker's baby, and you are here to put the lies to rest. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
How have you been affected by Ms. Baker's doubts about Kanaya's paternity?
I'm just sad sometimes. I try to deal with it now. Like, I really don't care no more. Like, that's how I feel. I don't care anymore. I don't care who feel nothing about my baby. I don't care. It just seemed like everybody else looking upside my head like I'm an animal or something. Like, every time I'm sitting down doing something, they looking at me like I'm the outcast of the group. She looked like me, so why is it a problem? That's why I just say I don't care about nothing. And none of that. I don't care.
That's not the way
so,
that you go about doing
Ms. Hooker, let me ask you, what was your relationship with Keyshawn? Were you boyfriend and girlfriend?
First we was best friends. 6th grade year, we was best friends, and then we started talking, then we stopped talking, and just like we stopped talking, then we started going together for a minute, and then like, when I got pregnant, it was just like, we always talked, but we just stopped going together. But we still talking though, but we just stopped going together. Like, we weren't boyfriend or girlfriend.
Okay, but then you still talked?
Yeah.
Were you in love, or was
Yeah.
this was your first love?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I jump in?
Please.
It's not that she don't care. Her feelings been hurt, so she hold a guard up. It's not Miss Baker who denies Kenaya. It's her family who makes my daughter feel some type of way. It's not Miss Baker. She was too fat to be his baby. She fat like them, and it's just a whole bunch of stuff. Never from Miss Baker. It's always her family who always have something to say about my grandbaby. My daughter's feelings have been hurt. It's always talk about her like she this tramp, and I'm like, enough.
So, Ms. Baker, explain to the court why there's doubt that Keyshawn is Kanaya's biological father.
My son was on vacation, and we kept hearing that Denaya was pregnant, but then when we finally found out for sure, he told me, he said he wasn't the only boy that had messed with Denaya.
Okay.
And he made me promise that we was gonna get a blood test, and things didn't go the way we thought they were gonna go, and now we're here.
Well, I'm so very sorry for your loss. Let me say that. I know this is difficult. May I ask what happened to Keyshawn?
He was shot on a Sunday, and he died that Friday.
I'm so very sorry.
He just told me to promise him that we was gonna get a test done because of what the other young man said, and you know.
What did the other young man say?
He told Keyshawn that when he wasn't around, he was supposedly sleeping with Denaya.
Ms. Hooker, I have to ask you, was there another guy?
No, cause that's why it's funny, because how can somebody tell me who I was sleeping with? Nobody in the room was in the room with me when I was sleeping with somebody. What do I have to lie for?
Keyshawn told us that he wanted the blood test. The only way, Keyshawn only denied the baby when him and my daughter was arguing. Other than that, I have pictures with him laying on her stomach. He had doubts only when he was angry. And I cannot get mad at what he tell his mother or nothing like that. But when he came over there with us, he held the baby, kissed the baby, and loved the baby. We just need to get the results for Miss Carolyn. Because anybody else, to me, it doesn't matter. It's all about her. And he did ask her to get the blood test. For it won't be no doubts on their end about my grandbaby, because it's sad now.
I agree.
And it's not even Miss Baker. It's her family who makes it like she just sleeping around with everybody.
And they don't know me like that, for them to be saying anything about me.
Said something. From what I ever heard about my family, nobody ever talked about her.
It all occurred
So,
at her
Ms.
house. Then when I go.
I know my mom said something about, she had a birthday dinner, and my mom did tell me, she said something about she think I didn't like her, or, you know, things like that. Maybe her perception of what other people view of her is just her perception, because she has to understand that sometimes it's hard for people to look, for me personally, to look at the baby, because it's just a reminder that my brother's not here. So it's not about her and her feelings. When she does come around, it is a sense of sadness for me. So it's not that, you know, somebody looking at her crazy. They're just dealing with the murder of their loved one. So it's not, you know, about her.
How did you learn that Miss Hooker was pregnant?
She ride the same bus as my daughter and my granddaughter does from school, and they had came home like prior months before. They had said she was supposed to be pregnant. And I asked her, I said, do you know anything of your daughter being pregnant? I say, because the girls said they were on the bus, and she's saying she's
gonna
like,
find out what she having tomorrow.
what she's having and what she's gonna name the baby. And she was like, no. So when she got home, she ended up texting me a picture, telling me, yeah, she is pregnant. And
We went the next day and found out what she was having.
Yeah.
So your mind, Keyshawn accepted that he was the father of this child
Yeah, in my mind.
from the way he behaved at your home. But Mom, Ms. Baker, did he give you any proof or anything that there was this other guy? Because Ms. Hooker testified that this was the only person she was sleeping with at that time.
I think he just went off what they're saying in their circle of kids. You know, they talk, they have their own.
Yeah, the boy was telling him
that,
that, when you were away, I was messing with her. He was unsure to the point of where he was just sick. He was worried,
scared.
He was scared. He lost so much weight. He lost a whole lot of weight. Like I told him, you played grown, now it's time to be grown. Because if it's your baby, you not finna run and you not finna leave the whole bag on her.
Him or my family are not those kind of people to do that. What did I do to her?
Oh, you can't go. Don't go there, Miss Blanche. Don't go there, Miss Blanche. Don't go there, because you know the truth is
We're all here to talk, honey.
This is what I'm
Saying.
saying.
Not you keep commenting on stuff.
What I'm saying.
So why you keep talking?
Listen, this is what we ain't gonna do.
I don't
Because
care.
we come here to go back and forth with each other.
You know
Exactly.
what?
And
I ain't never, Judge, I ain't never said yay or nay. All I say is what my baby said to me.
Right.
I've talked to her, and she know why we here.
Exactly. And listen.
Yeah, I'm the one who
And
wrote the
that's
letter.
all I'm concerned with, all this other bickering, and I don't got time for it. Because at the end of the day, this my baby.
Right.
And he gone.
Right.
He not coming back. So all this other extra stuff, I don't got time for it.
And that's exactly why
All I
it's so
wanna know,
important.
I'm here to do what I promised my son to do. I'm not trying to do anything against anybody to make her feel bad. I ain't never been denying them. We never had a problem. She come stay the night when she feel like it, her and the baby, everything. They was just with me at my birthday dinner. I ain't never did nothing, even
make her
though
feel
my
no type
son
of way.
telling me that he wasn't sure. I have never did or said anything to make her feel no bad kind of way, because like I said, they was kids. She's still a kid.
Yes.
And I didn't come here for no badgering, no bickering, trying to put nobody down.
Right.
I came here because this is what I promised my baby, and it's going to be done.
And the truth is, Miss Baker, and you're right.
Right now.
You're right.
Judge, my daughter really feels some type of way. It's not that she feels some type of way. It's like she more hurt behind the obituary. And Miss Carolyn has explained to her about the obituary, how the obituary went. But in her heart, she feel like Miss Bland left her out of the obituary on purpose.
So,
And that's why she has so much animosity towards Toy.
I just feel like this. When this come back and this is the baby, I don't want her. I don't want no sorries from nobody. Keep your sorries. I don't want no sorries.
I'm not giving you a sorry.
Okay? I'm not asking you to.
Shut up.
hold on.
I don't care.
Hold on.
She thinks she can say something to me because I'm a child. I'm gonna keep talking to her because she thinks she's hard and I will punch her in her face. I don't care.
Oh, no,
I don't
no, no,
care.
no.
I don't care.
No,
'Cause I've
no.
been waiting for her already.
No.
I don't care. I
No.
don't care.
No.
I don't care.
Listen. Miss Hooker, you're going to have your day. And it's today.
Okay.
But what we're not going to do, I'm not going to let you in this courtroom step so far outside look outside the lines, that you regret it. Because at this moment, you don't just represent yourself. When you become a mom, you represent your baby.
One of my family members was in the obituary, but my baby wasn't. Y'all can keep my family member out the obituary.
Okay, first of all, slow down, because I want to understand.
Why you tell me?
She said one of her family members was in the obituary.
But there was no mention of Kanaya. Was this intentional, Ms. Baker, Ms. Bland? Was this something that...
like this, Judge. She went and finished up without me. So, Kanaya did get left out. So did my grandmother, and so did one of my sisters.
Okay.
It wasn't just the baby.
Okay.
We weren't together. Nobody was thinking right at that time. We weren't, none of us together. She went ahead to try to call herself helping me, and she was going ahead of me to finish it up, and all three of these people got left out, so it wasn't just Kanaya.
Ms. Bland, did you, and I want to ask you this, did you intentionally leave Kanaya out of that obituary because you knew there was a question surrounding the paternity?
Yes, I did. First of all, let me say this. My mama has a relationship with them. I don't. It may or may not be his. I did not put the baby name in there just in case it isn't. That my mom has to read that obituary. She lost a child. Nobody else lost one. So if this baby turned out to be his, that's a death all over again. Do I want my mama to look in there and look at a reminder of a baby that was supposed to be his and it wasn't? No, I do not. I'm thinking about my mama feelings. It don't have nothing to do with her.
And so,
nothing.
So now let's come forward. If it is Keyshawn's child, will your family, your mother has expressed she has not had an ill will towards this baby or Miss Hooker, but will your family accept Kanaya?
Yes, they will.
They don't have to.
I already told, you know what I said already, Judge? Since she got left out the obituary, I have already told them, if it comes back saying Kanaya belongs to Keyshawn, I'm going directly back to the funeral home and get a set of obituaries made, so when this baby grow up and she read her dad's obituary, there's her name.
That is honorable.
And my mama did mention it. And I said, Ma, I thought the baby may not be his. That's what I said. Because that's what she said. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said. But myself, if I'd have been there to finish up, I was putting her in there because my feelings was, I'd rather her been in there, if she was, than for her to grow up and, hey, I'm reading my dad's obituary, but where my name at?
Exactly.
I didn't want that.
I think it's time for the results.
Thank you.
Jerome?
There you go.
Thank you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Because there wasn't a blood card available to test the DNA of the deceased Keyshawn Abraham, we performed what is called a DNA test with his surviving parents, Carolyn Baker and Lamond Abraham. With that being said, the results determined if there is a viable relationship between the child, Kanaya Abraham, and Ms. Baker and Mr. Abraham. In the case of Coates, Hooker versus Baker, when it comes to 11-month-old Kanaya Abraham, it has been determined by this court the percentage of relatedness between Ms. Baker, Mr. Abraham, and Kanaya Abraham is 0%.
And this is why right here.
Ms. Baker, are you all right? Do you need to sit down? Do you need to sit down, ma'am?
They weren't gonna tell me sorry, so I'm not telling them nothing.
Do you need to sit down, ma'am?
Nobody did anything to you, honey.
I don't care. Miss
Nobody
Philly do nothing to me, but I don't like you.
That's
I don't
fine,
like you.
sweetie. It's
I don't like you.
fine.
Okay, I don't care.
It's
Nothing.
okay.
Stop talking to me then.
Nobody did anything
Stop
to
talking
you.
Miss Hooker,
Nobody.
just stop.
Stop it! Stop, please! Just stop!
Okay, come on, let's go.
You do owe my
Let's
mom an
go.
apology, though. That's when you owe one.
No, excuse me.
Because you know you slept with somebody else.
Miss
And
Hooker.
Girl,
Miss
you better
Hooker.
stop talking about it.
No.
Hey, go in there. Go in there. Go in there. You do too much.
I don't care because you always think you can touch me anyway. Let me.
Ms. Nelson, you say you grew up believing one man was your father, yet had another man listed on your birth certificate.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then, after you turned 30 years old, a third man, the defendant, suddenly contacted you on Facebook claiming he was your father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Today, you say you hope DNA test results will finally reveal the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sterling,
Yes, ma'am.
you're here with your daughter and say it was she who helped you find Miss Nelson.
Yes, ma'am.
You claim today you will reveal why another man's name is on Miss Nelson's birth certificate and prove to her you are indeed her father.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Ms. Nelson, please tell the court, how did you first hear about Mr. Sterling's claims?
Well, Your Honor, I grew up my whole life knowing a different man was my dad. It was a man that was in prison. My mother took me to visit him weekend after weekend, week after week, and this is the man I grew up knowing that he was my father. I had went to New York to visit this man for 2 weeks. And he told me that this other man was on my birth certificate because my mom didn't want somebody like him in my life because he was in and out of prison.
And so the explanation given was she just wanted to protect you.
Yes.
So she put another man's name on the birth certificate because I was in and out of prison.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a copy of your birth certificate with you?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Jerome, let me see that, please. Father's name listed, Vincent Preston Nelson. And that's not the name of the gentleman you visited in prison.
No, Your Honor.
So this had to be confusing.
Yes, Your Honor. I was hurt because I never knew who he was. I just knew that this man was my dad, and I felt like my mom should have told me that this man was my father, even though he was in and out of prison. I was hurt.
So then you get a message from a man, another man,
Yes, Your Honor.
saying he's your father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Explain.
I got a message from a man named Christopher Lancaster saying that I'm your dad. He was sorry for not being in my life, and he now wants to be in my life. And he left 2 numbers on there. I contacted both those numbers. Both the numbers were disconnected because it was 4 months prior that he had left me the message. It was in my others box on Facebook. That's how he messaged me on Facebook. He left the 2 numbers. I called the 2 numbers. Neither one of the numbers worked.
May I see that evidence, please? Jerome, please
Yes,
hand. Thank you. Well, I know you don't know who I am, but I'm your father. I'm so sorry for all of the years I have missed you growing up. What were you thinking when you get this message?
Your Honor, honestly, I didn't even know what to think because it was like I was.
It's like it's just coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely. It was outrageous to me that I had got this message with all these different men.
Did anything lead you to believe other than what you had been told?
My mom always told me that the man on my birth certificate, Vincent Nelson, was my father. This is what my mom told me. But this other man that was in prison told me that that wasn't true. He was my father.
And now, yet another message.
It's coming through from Christopher Lancaster saying this man was my father. So
This is incredible.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Sterling, she gets a message from a Christopher Lancaster. Yet you're here in court.
Yes, ma'am.
Your name is Christopher Sterling.
Yes, ma'am.
How did she get this message from a Christopher Lancaster? Do you know
Lancaster.
that person?
Yes, ma'am. I put that message on Facebook. For reason being, I had problems with other people in my life, so I didn't want to use my real full name. So I made up a Facebook page of Christopher Lancaster. I always was looking for my daughter. Always. To me, I feel that she's my daughter. So I always was looking for her. I remember her birthdays and everything. So I always was looking for her. So I put that message on there to contact her, for nobody else to contact me.
So you were the person behind the Christopher Lancaster note?
Yes, ma'am.
So you had a relationship with her mother?
Yes, ma'am.
Knew of her?
Yes, ma'am.
You were in a relationship, a sexual relationship or a committed relationship with her mother?
We was young, Your Honor. We was young. We met in high school.
Okay.
17, 18 years old. We was young. You know, when you're young, you fall in love with each other. So we had the relationship, had sex.
When you found out she was pregnant, did you know you were the father?
Yes, ma'am. I was there at the hospital. I went, when her mother water broke, my mother took her to the hospital.
And so what happened? You're there, and you lose contact with this woman that you say is your daughter.
Okay, what happened was, far as like a religion thing, and I didn't want to commit towards the religion thing because I was running the streets, DJing, playing music, and I didn't want to commit to the religion thing. So I feel the family took her away from me and moved her somewhere else, and I never heard from them again.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So, Ms. Nelson,
Yes, Sean.
your entire life, you hadn't heard of Christopher Sterling or Christopher Lancaster?
No, Your Honor. The only person I knew of was Vincent Nelson and the man who said he was my dad. Those were the only two people I knew of my entire life.
And Mr. Sterling, you're saying that this was a pretty deep relationship you had with her mother. I mean, you all were
Yes, ma'am.
high school sweethearts, and
Yes, ma'am. High school.
you were there
sweetheart.
for the birth?
We met in high school. We had sex every day during the summer. Every day. Every day.
Oh my God.
Every day.
Oh my
My
God.
mother even caught her in the house. My mother walked in the door and I heard the key come in, but I had her mother hide in the closet. So my mother didn't pay no attention. My mother walked by and then I forgot and left her clothes there, her shoes in the living room.
Oh my God.
And my mother seen it and said, "Who you have in this house?" I said, "Nobody." And she opened up the closet door,
That's what you call busted.
pulled out,
Yes, Sean.
butterball naked.
Oh, well, maybe you didn't need to hear that story,
No,
Ms.
I
Nelson.
didn't, Your Honor.
But anyway, Your Honor, and through the whole situation, I got on punishment for everything. And I'm the guy. I was on punishment for 2 weeks. When
You
my
should have
parents-
been.
When my parents fought,
For the whole summer and
Your Honor,
beyond.
they put me on punishment for 2 weeks. You know what we had to do? We were so much in love. I used to tie a note because we stayed on the 5th floor. It's the project, so we stayed on the 5th floor. I used to hand a note down on a string and then give it to her. She'd tie her note up and I pulled the note up. I was on punishment for 2
Oh
weeks.
my God.
That's how much we was in love.
All right, you're redeemed.
Thank you.
My question is, how can this be possible? Because there's the man in prison, and there's Vincent Preston Nelson, and then you say you were at the hospital.
Because, ma'am, I am Vincent Preston Nelson. Yes, I am.
Wait a minute. You are Vincent Preston Nelson.
Yes, ma'am, and I have evidence to prove to you right now today.
Let me see that evidence. That is, in fact, you.
I was younger then. Excuse my hair, I didn't get a haircut back then.
This is you on this
Yes, ma'am.
ID card.
Well, when I grew up, I never met my real father. When I met my father when I was 17, he said, "We changing your name to Christopher Sterling Jr." I said, "Of course."
You took your father's name.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are, in fact, the man listed on her birth certificate as her father.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Ms. Nelson, you've established a relationship with this other man.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's who you were led to believe is your father your whole life.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you look like the other man?
Yes, I do. I do. I look like the other man.
Mr. Sterling, I see this has you very emotional. What is it you feel? Are you just so upset because she was led to believe something different?
I look like him. I don't look like this man right here.
And you just believe in your heart that's your daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
And all these years you've been hurting, just missing her.
Yes, Your Honor.
It's almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it is, Your Honor. And this is my first time ever meeting him. I've never met this man in my life. Well, I've never met him in my life, and this is my first time meeting him and seeing him. And if he is my dad, this is unbelievable. This is great if he is my father. If he's not, then.
But I've missed so many years, man.
So, Christopher Lancaster, who is Christopher Sterling, who was Vincent Preston Nelson,
Yes, ma'am.
may be your father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Jerome, I think we need to talk to her mother. Please escort her in.
Huh?
Hi, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Your Honor.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank-
Ms. Haynes, you are Ms. Nelson's mother.
Yes.
You admit you had a relationship with this gentleman, Christopher Sterling.
Yes.
But do you know him as Christopher Sterling?
I know him because I know as Christopher Sterling because I was there when he met his father.
He's saying he was there at the hospital when she
Correct.
was born.
Correct.
There was a disconnection.
It was a disconnection, yes, ma'am.
And then he was no longer a part of your life,
Right.
nor his daughter's.
Yes.
And at some point, you met this man in prison, and then you ended up telling your daughter that he was her father.
Never. Against my wishes and against her my other family's wishes, who she was staying with, she snuck and went to see this man.
So you never told her that.
never-
But
he-
Ms. Nelson,
he
you
told her
felt
that.
like you were led to believe it because he said, I'm your father.
I'm your father, and your mother took me out of your life and said I cannot be a part of your life because I'm in and out of jail. My family did not want me to have a relationship with him, but I chose to have a relationship with him because this man was telling me he was my father. And this is the man I knew, and this is the man that I call daddy. I didn't know this man right here, Christopher Sterling, Vincent Nelson, whatever his name is. I didn't have a relationship with this man. I didn't know him.
Mr. Sterling, where were you though?
We lost contact, Your Honor. She was 2, 3 years old the last time I seen her. We was in Coney Island at Nathan's. I bought her French fries.
Yeah.
That's the last time I seen my daughter. I remember her birthday, July 25th. Every
Yes.
year. That's my daughter right here. She 23 years old. When she was born, I told her she had an older sister. Am I lying?
Ma'am, please stand up. Let me hear your testimony. And your name is, ma'am?
Amber Sterling.
And you're Mr. Sterling's daughter?
Yes.
And so you remember your entire life being told you have an older sister?
Yes.
Do you believe Miss Nelson is your sister?
I want to believe it. There's a slight doubt, but I don't know. I have no idea. I would like to know. I would like her to be my sister. I never talked to her. I never seen her. I don't know what she looked. This is my first time ever seeing her.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you say you have some doubt. Why do you have doubt?
I've been told my whole life, but I've never met her. And I feel like if that was my sister, why wasn't it a connection? Why didn't we have a connection? And it's more where I came from. I have 2 other siblings. So it's like, why wasn't she brought to me? Like, were us 2 brought together, period? So it's like, is she my sister? I don't know. I have no idea.
This is a lot. I mean, this is
It is,
just...
and I don't even know what to say. I honestly don't even know what to say, but I feel like he could have done more to find me. I feel like he did not do enough. I'm 31, Your Honor. I've been through a lot, and I feel like if he really wanted to find me, he could have found me, and I feel like he really didn't want to find me.
No,
and that's how I feel. But I feel like you really didn't, because that's how I feel. I feel like you did never want to really
If I'm
find
busy
me.
and I'm taking care of what I have to take care of.
You too busy to find your daughter? You too busy? I'm 31 years old.
Wow, really? Okay.
I think it's time for the result.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Thank you, Jerome.
May I go down there with my daughter?
You absolutely may.
Please, Mom.
I got it.
Can't, Mom. Ready?
All right.
That's what you've been waiting for, right?
I know.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Nelson v. Sterling Haynes, as it pertains to whether Mr. Vincent Nelson, also known as Christopher Sterling, is the biological father of Miss Nelson. In the case of Nelson v. Sterling Haynes, as it pertains to whether Mr. Vincent Nelson, also known as Christopher Sterling, is the biological father of Miss Nelson. It has been determined by this court, Mr. Sterling, you are her father.
You're in the Sterling clan now. Thank you, Carla.
This is exactly why I get up in the morning. I commend you, Miss Nelson, for having the courage to go through every path you had to walk down, everywhere the stories led you. Now you know who you are and to
Exactly.
whom you belong.
Exactly.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you,
Thank you,
so
Lana.
much.
Congratulations.
Thank you
Court is
so
adjourned.
much.
Miss Moore, your son has brought you to court today, but you've asked to have some time alone with me before he enters the courtroom to present his case against you. You haven't seen your son since a lifelong secret became exposed just 2 months ago. The court has already issued a paternity test, and those results will be revealed today. Now, Ms. Moore, what was the secret that you kept for almost 3 decades?
29 years ago, I had an affair between 2 guys, and I didn't tell my son.
Okay. I'd like to bring your son in at this time.
God.
Jerome, if you could please escort Mr. Weeks in, please.
Mr. Weeks? Take the podium on there.
I'm emotional. This is not gonna work good.
Good day, Mr. Weeks.
How you doing?
Thank you for being here today. If you could, please tell this court how you became suspicious that the man that raised you may not be your
Well,
biological father.
It started around like I was 9 years old. I kept hearing rumors from outside family members that Maurice might not be my father or I might not be his son. I asked, but I always get the same results. For a long time, I got the same result.
Your Honor, he never asked me.
I asked.
Had my son asked me,
I have
I
asked
would
Your
have
Honor
told him.
and told her. I came to her and asked her. She always told me Maurice is your father, and that's
But-
what I did. I listened to my mom. She said Maurice is your father. That's the end of the subject.
Now,
Okay,
Ms. Moore,
but
you
I
said
had-
that he never asked you.
He never asked me. And
See-
quite honestly, if my son had asked me, I would have told him, but I would have also told him not to say anything because I didn't want my mother to know.
So you were reluctant just because you didn't want your mother to reject him.
My mother has rejected my daughter. Yes, I didn't want another child rejected. I grew up stern with those beliefs that a child out of wedlock was not going to be accepted by her.
How did you find out? How did your mother
Like-
finally let you know?
I came up here for her birthday, and I went to the corner store. Just give me some, something to eat. I seen another family member of mine. He asked me how my father was, and I told him he's doing fine. You want to talk to him? He said yes. So I went in my pocket, brought my phone out, called him right there on the spot. As soon as he got on the phone, he said, "Oh, my bad, I got the wrong number." So he gave me back the phone. So I stood back. We had a little awkward moment, like,
So basically, he was implying, Maurice wasn't your father.
Right, implying that Maurice wasn't my father, somebody else was. I came through the door, talked, then I just came after. The plain blank, you can't lie to me no more. I can't hear that Maurice Weeks is your father. I had to know the truth.
And I have no problem with that because I want to know.
She came to me and said, I don't know who is your father.
I did.
Just like that.
I did.
So naturally, I got upset about it.
Now, Ms. Moore, what would you like to add?
Okay. When I approached Earl to find out what was going on with Earl, again, Earl didn't say. Earl didn't say anything to me about this here until a couple of months ago. Hold up, Earl. Hold up, Earl. I'm still your mom. I let you talk. A couple of months ago, okay? He broke out. He came into town. I didn't even know my son was coming into town. He came out with it. I told him, I didn't know. I don't know. Had he asked me at 9, if he had asked me at 3, if he had said anything at 18 when he graduated, yes, I still would have told him, but I would have still said, don't tell your grandmother. I went to Maurice. I asked Maurice, don't you think it's about time we let Earl know that there's a possibility? Maurice like, no, leave it alone. I'm here now. I'm going to be here. He's my son.
So you were concerned about that, and when you consulted with your husband at the time, he just said, leave it be.
Right. So to make me the heavy on this here when I was living with 2 other children, plus Earl, with a man who accepted my children, who put a roof over their head, I wasn't going to jeopardize that to take that away from my son, who Earl know for a fact, had a baby from 6 months old to 5 years old. Earl was on the road with this man. He bonded with this man. He loved this man. This man loved him. I wasn't going to change it when the man himself said, Jackie, I will be there for your children through everything. I wasn't going to change that. I wasn't going to jeopardize my other children just for one.
And you sacrificed and you kept that secret.
I heard it over this. I heard it for Earl. Even though when Earl came to me and told me in the rage that he was in, I heard it from my child. I never wanted my children to hurt. But at the time and the age I am now, I thought I was doing the right thing for my son and the rest of my children. I heard it just like Earl did, but he was in such a rage. I said, okay, I got to put a stop to this.
Ms. Moore, you talked about maybe dating.
There may be another man involved, yes.
And how do you have this doubt? How firm is this doubt? Were you with these 2 men in a very
short time frame? In a very short time frame, like maybe 24 to 48 hours.
Okay.
And then it became more doubtful as Earl started growing, and I noticed the difference.
So this has been a painful secret for you to just hold in your whole life. You've known this.
My whole life I had doubts, yes. Because I noticed things with Earl that wasn't a part of Maurice, that didn't resemble Maurice. I lived it with him. But I am not the only one that didn't tell my son. And if I known that at the time that Earl would have been that much raised a few months ago, Lord in heaven knows, I would have told my son regardless. Only thing I didn't want to happen was my mother to find out. Whether my mother knew in her gut or not, it was not the way I was raised. And I couldn't chance losing another child that my mother wouldn't love. I named Earl after my mother because I wanted her to love my children regardless if she thought I was a floozy loose in the street. These are my children, and I would have loved Earl no matter what. And I would have did anything I could to protect him. And Maurice was there. He loved him. He took care of him. And he took care of me, and he took care of my other 2 kids. For Earl to be in a rage right now, he needs to understand that I love him, and I wouldn't have hurted him for nothing in the world. He was my special child. He really was, because a year before I had Earl, I was told I would never have any kids. So when Earl come here, and Lord knows, 10 pounds and 14 ounces and 23 inches long is a lot of baby to carry for anybody. So to tell me I didn't care enough to want to know the truth, that's my reason. I would have kept everything a secret as long as I could until my child would have come to me and asked asked me, Mom, please, I need to know.
Your fear of disappointing your mother, I mean, I feel it. It's so deep. It's so strong. You knew if I told the truth, she would reject my son.
She was going to reject my son. She would have. Maurice stayed there for the whole 20 years. He was there in my life with my other kids and Earl. So Earl can't just be just angry that he didn't know. I didn't know. I was only caught in between two guys. Okay, so now let's say you were 27 years old. You should have known better. Maybe, but sometimes you get caught up in a situation that you love one and you can't do without the other and you're going to try to make it work. Don't.
No, you feel like you deserve the truth.
Well, I would have to wait this long.
Could you have Mr. Weeks with some Kleenex?
Why I have to wait this long? Who would have came, whoever would have came to me about it, whether it's her or Maurice, why would y'all come to me?
The reason why it's coming out now is that I can't live this life no more. It was happened to me. My mom was caught between two men. Okay?
So this cycle, this same exact thing happened to you.
Yes, and I want to stop it.
But you know. I'm beyond pleased, and I commend you just for having the courage to not keep the lie going. Mr. Weeks, did you grow up loving Maurice?
I grew up crazy about this man. Like, I had to be in his pocket just to make sure he don't leave me.
That's true.
It just hurt, Your Honor. It hurt that I had to come as a child of both of them. I had to come to them about it.
And I can imagine that it's not just hurting you, but also your relationship. And for that, I would love to have you stand, ma'am, and state your name.
How you doing? My name is Cynthia Walker.
Hello, Miss Walker. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Now, you are in a relationship currently with Mr. Weeks, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am. We are engaged.
You're engaged. Wonderful. Can you tell the court how this has been since he's come to know this?
Yes, ma'am. First of all, Your Honor, it has been frustrating for not only Earl and I, but it has also been frustrating for my two children. We have a son and daughter together. Ever since he's been going through this thing with his mother months ago when he found out, he's been distant with her, he's been distant with me, he's been distant with our children. I mean, it's like a domino effect. I mean, the lie that she's been holding for almost 30 years, I mean, true enough, I can understand where Miss Jackie is coming from. Things happen. You do make mistakes. But at the end of the day, you have to live with the consequences of the decisions that you make.
Okay.
First of all, wait a minute, Miss Jackie, because see, Earl is not a child anymore. He's a grown man with a family. And I would never, ever hold anything from my children. That's what a mother does.
Okay.
You was wrong for that.
Okay, and now I accept being wrong because I can accept it from my son. But I don't owe you nothing.
You owe me
everything. I don't owe you nothing. I owe it to my son. I owe it to my son. I don't owe you. I didn't sleep with you. I didn't make no babies with you.
It's too late.
It is never too late for a mother to love her child. It is never too late.
Jerome, can you step up between them, please?
Because if it's too late for me to love my son now, then it may be too late when yours get 30.
Never.
Bag up.
Never.
Bag up. Because at the end of the day, I love him.
You should have been a woman about your business.
And when you get back in the year that I was living and raising my kids, you stepped to me in 2013 and tell me you wasn't a woman or make me believe I wasn't a woman, okay? I was a woman, a mother, and a hard-working true
Let's have some order. Let's have some order. Take a breath.
At the end of the day, I am 57 years old. And back then, I did what I thought I had to do to raise my kids, put a roof over their head, put shoes on their feet, and food in their stomach. And this man, Maurice, did that unconditionally. I won't take nothing from it, but I can understand. My son did, and I can be understanding to Cynthia.
You know what? This court, I'm so glad you all are here. I can't even tell you This court is about moving forward and how to do that. You know, Ms. Walker, you have so much love for Mr. Weeks. Your attack against Ms. Moore and your condemnation of her decisions is based upon your love and watching the way his hurt is not only affecting him, but your family, your kids, and that's natural. I didn't grow up in this era, but I remember the generation before me where if a young person got pregnant, they'd go off down south or somewhere for a year. I don't know if any of you remember that. Then they just disappear. They come back, they're not pregnant no more, and the next thing you know, where's the baby? Who knows? It'd be with another family member who would have gotten adopted. Everything was secret. She grew up in a time where a culture of secrecy was normalcy. So even though what she maybe did was wrong and you don't understand it, and you are so angry with her because of the way it is affecting your fiance, you do have to understand that it wasn't 2013 with Facebook and Twitter where everybody tells all their business as soon as it happens. It just wasn't that time. What we can do today is figure out how do we go forward. From experience, I can say this. Where there is emotion, there is still love. You all love each other.
I love my son with all my heart.
You love your son and you love Miss Walker.
I love Cynthia because she is a good person for my son. She's good. She's a good mother.
Maybe you needed to get that out, and maybe this court was just the place where you need to lay it on the table. Now, with all of that said...
Can I hug my son?
Of course you may hug your son, and then we can have the results.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you. I love you too. No matter what, I love you.
I love you too.
And I love you.
Thank you. Jerome, if you could please hand me the envelope.
There you go.
As it relates to Mr. Earl Weeks, Mr. Weeks, the man who has raised you for the past 29 years is not your biological father. Help her.
Okay? No, don't change her too much. Are you okay?
Look at me.
I did not want to hurt my son.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what you did for your son. You gave him a father that loved and accepted him, and you gave him the best life you knew how to give him. You cannot beat yourself up over this. It was a judgment call. You had to make it, and you did. Come sit. She needs you. Come sit.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Ms. Mayo, you're here today because you filed a paternity suit against Mr. Brown, who you claim is your 2-month-old fraternal twins, Chloe and Carter's biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You say when today's results prove your case, you want him to pay you $1,000 for half of the child rearing expenses.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, you say the only reason Ms. Mayo is claiming you're the father is because she's trying to trap you and she's desperate to be with you. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Mayo, you're suing for child rearing expenses. What has Mr. Brown done for your twins thus far?
Nothing at all. Everything they got from before I even had them, I have bought. Mr. Brown have bought not one thing that you can think of. Everything came out of my pocket or my mom or my dad.
Not one thing?
Not one thing. Nothing at all.
Mr. Brown, is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why is that?
Because I don't believe they my children.
I don't know why you feel like that, and you know they're yours, bro. I don't know why you feel like that, and you already know.
For one, I feel like she trapped me.
I never trapped you. How did I trap you? I didn't want to have no child with you.
So
I wish I would have never got pregnant.
Why was you messing with me from the beginning? Why was you messing with me from the beginning?
Because at first we was friends. Why you putting on a show? Before any of this happened, we was friends. We was cordial. Like, I was doing stuff for you. You was doing stuff for me and my kids. Wrong or right?
Right.
Say if it was Monday. If I didn't see him Monday, I knew for a fact I was going to see him Tuesday. Right. From the first night when we had sex, we didn't use a condom.
So
Every day we had sex, we never used a condom.
So if she seen me Monday and she ain't see me Tuesday, that's a whole gap.
You right, but at
That's
the
a
same time,
24-hour
I was
gap
talking
for her
to
to
no
do
one
what?
but you, and you know that.
So you feel like were you having protected sex or unprotected?
We had unprotected sex.
All right.
Every time, not one time did we use a condom.
And so what you're saying is you were having a sexual relationship, you weren't using protection, but you believe she was also sleeping with other people.
Yeah, that could be the case.
Were you having sex with anybody else, Miss Mayo?
No.
That's what they all say.
Take me back. I want to understand the nature of this relationship. What was this about? You all were just having sex for sport or what?
Yeah, that's what it
basically.
was.
But basically, we was friends. No, don't even. We was friends. We been best of friends until Cedric really.
Best of friends?
Yes, we have been. Before all this happened, we was friends.
Man,
so
we
you
was
wasn't
friends.
helping me take
Okay.
care of my kids. The kids did
Yeah.
not. We weren't friends. Making
doing
sure
all- I
I
was
got to
doing
work.
all that,
Making
but-
sure this. And
Wait
that.
a minute. He was helping you take care of your other kids.
Yes. Making sure I got to work. Make sure I had gas in my truck. Make
that's
sure
the
I
type of-
had.
That sounds like you were a
Make sure
couple
I
to
had
me.
Everything.
No, that's the type of person I am. That's, I mean, if
I ain't
we.
got
Oh,
no-
you're
I-
just kind-hearted.
Yeah, I'm a kind-hearted person. That's the type of person I am.
Okay, so you all admit you weren't in a committed relationship.
No, we wasn't.
Not even dating. You just having sex and he's helping you take care of your kids.
Yes, basically.
That's
it.
new, Ron. That's new. That's new.
It's situationship.
It's a situationship.
Yeah, situationship. Yeah.
That's a new.
Yeah.
Now that's a new word.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay, so tell me, what was the situationship when she told you she was pregnant?
He left. He blocked me on
Okay,
everything.
okay.
Blocked me on Facebook. Blocked
Okay.
me on Instagram.
Okay,
Removed
look,
everything.
can we take
Just
it
started
back?
talking to me.
I'm saying, can we
Just
take?
started block
can
my
we-
mama. I wrote his mama.
You
on,
blocked her mama too, Mr. Brown?
I wrote
All
his
that.
mama on Facebook.
All that.
He wrote back talking
All
about don't
that.
inbox my mama. But if I feel like your mama should have stepped up and said something.
I want to go back to the moment you told him. What was your response from that point on?
Prior to all that, prior to her being pregnant and all that, I stated from the beginning, I don't want no children. I don't want no
Okay,
child.
you didn't want no children. You could have used the condom, correct?
We had a talk. I told her to go get on birth control.
Lies.
Okay.
You never told me that.
We gon' from the birth control, one day, I'm at her house, we just kicking it. You know what I mean? She tell me to come in the room, I come in the room. She present me with all type of documents, medical documents, stating that she can't have no children. That she can't have children or none of that, how her last child was never supposed to be here. How the doctor told her that she would never have children again. So when she presented me with all this, I feel like I'm in a safety net. I got a safety zone, like, okay, she can't have children.
Oh.
Right.
So she comes in with all this paperwork.
showing
Telling
me
you, I can't have any children.
How she almost died, having her last child and he was never supposed to be here. Come on, man, you know that's the truth.
So did you show him this paperwork, Miss
No.
Keep it real.
I am keeping it real. You keep it real.
Man, you gonna sit here and
Lies.
lie to these folks?
No, that is a lie. That is a lie. That's a straight up lie.
So you never told him that you couldn't have children?
No.
You never showed him any paperwork?
Can we do a lie detector test too?
No, that's a lie.
Oh, so that's why when you say, I think she trapped me, you think she gave you this paperwork to show you she couldn't have children as like a get out of protected sex free card.
Trap you. You ain't got
Listen,
nothing for nobody have no kids, bye.
on many occasions we done had this conversation. I don't want no children. She supposed
But if
to,
you didn't
she
want no
told
children,
me, she
why
had
you
done
didn't
told
use
me.
no
she-
Did he
condom, right?
communicate to you, Miss Mayo, that he didn't want any children?
Yes, but at my point, why you didn't use no condom? You don't want no children.
Man, because you showed me them papers. Why
Man,
would
I
I
didn't
lie?
show
Why would I
you
lie
nothing.
about? Why would
I
I
didn't
lie
show-
about
okay.
papers? Like what?
Okay.
what
So
am I getting-
clearly,
You ain't lied about.
listen,
Come on, you lied about stupid stuff. Come on.
Come on,
Mr. Brown, you all understand that having safe sex is not just about pregnancy. That's not the only issue. I mean, you can die from contracting diseases, and yet you all still decided you were going to have sex without protection.
Yes.
Worst mistake of my life.
Mine too, because I hate them.
Tell me why you're standing in court today saying that you're positive you're not the father, and that's why I haven't done anything for these twins. Because Miss Mayo is right. It's not, I mean, taking care of one child is expensive. Twins?
Because she.
What happened to kind-hearted Mr. Brown?
Because I didn't want this. I stated this from the beginning. I don't want no children. This was her whole plan from the beginning. Her whole plan from the beginning was to have kids by me.
No, that was not. Who are you?
Man.
Cedric, what do you have? Like, come on,
You can front in front of these folks, but you know what's going on for real.
All right.
Do you have any other proof that she was having sex with anyone else?
When I first met her, she had sex with me on the first night. So how I'm supposed to view that? Come on.
So what is your doubt? Exactly.
They don't look like me for one. I got very distinct features.
So come on, everybody in America knows that when newborns are born, they don't look like no one.
Can I go to?
They don't even look like me.
Can I go to the easel?
Oh, you have an exhibit?
Yes. Can I go to the
Please step
easel and
over.
show you?
Yes, I'd like to see it.
Wonder what this is.
Okay, this me. As you can see, I got very thick eyebrows. This is a distinct feature
They
of
were
me.
just born. Look at
Okay.
Chloe's eyebrows. Look
This
at
me.
Chloe right now.
This me. Thick eyebrows. This them. That's them.
Well, they 2 months old. They don't even have time to grow that many eyebrows yet.
The son, he got an M hairline, which is hereditary. I got a straight hairline.
It don't
My
matter.
My father got a
son
straight hairline.
like that.
My father got a straight hairline. So how do he have an M hairline? That's hereditary. That comes from whoever the father is.
Which is you. And you act like they gotta have everything that you have. They just 2 months. They don't look like no one.
And twins don't run in my family.
But they run in mine. Excuse me, let me stop you. Twins is a generation in my family. My brother got a set of twins. My auntie, it started later from my great-grandmother. Twins run in my family.
Mr. Brown, I've given you an opportunity to really explain your doubt here. I got eyebrows and a hairline.
Right. And my name, why, if I'm the alleged father, why she didn't name me as the father on the birth certificate?
Because you, let's answer this question. What have you done? Was you at the hospital?
I'm not
Do you
gonna do
deserve it?
Well, Miss Mayo, hold on. I think that now Mr. Brown has come back to the courtroom and he's asking a valid question. If I am the father, why wasn't I named as father?
Because he wasn't there. I mean, for what? You already blocked me. Man, did I have your number? Who else's number you blocked? He blocked my sister's number. I could not call him. He blocked my mama's number. You right, because you need to help take care of these twins. You right, I'm going to be aggravated. I'm going to blow your phone apart. You right.
So all while you're pregnant with the twins, you can't get in touch with him?
No, because he blocked my whole family. And I tried to write his mama to let her know what was going on. She could have been a woman and told her son to do something, but she didn't even do that much. It don't matter. You should have gave your phone. Okay, yeah, you right.
She had me her phone and said, ask me who is her. Man, that's nobody. Block her.
So he blocked me. That shows you what type of guy he is.
I can't get over the irony. I mean, really, Ron. I mean, before you get pregnant, you all are friends and you're helping one another out and you're communicating. He's helping you with your children. You're helping him out. And then you get pregnant and now he's doing nothing.
Nothing at all.
And now you have no communication.
He don't even know what's going on with Chloe. Chloe was born deaf, can't hear. He don't know that. He don't know nothing. My child can't hear at all.
And that's my fault.
Man, you can at least be there. I'm here with them 24/7 by myself. My child is deaf. Can't hear nothing at all. And you ain't doing nothing.
Man, listen.
When you find out today, are you gonna help do this? Are you gonna help do that? I gotta take sign language class. Do you know, man, you don't understand what I go through. 6 o'clock in the morning, all the way till it's time for them to lay down. I got them by myself, at the house, by myself, no help. Well, my sister there, she gotta go to work, so she leave. So when she there, I still had them by myself. You know how hard it is changing diapers back to back to back, feeding them back to back to back.
Not gonna be
doing
there.
all this.
We still not together.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you don't have to be there. But at the end of the day, you're gonna take care of them. You're gonna do what you're supposed to do. I'm gonna get it one way or another.
That's her whole thing, man. That's her whole thing.
What's her whole thing?
That's her whole thing. I got text messages saying she gonna ruin she gonna make
my
life to live in hell.
And I got expenses from everything that I have bought from.
Let me see that evidence, Mom. What is this evidence, Miss Mayo?
My expenses from what I have bought.
It's upsetting you that he's denying.
Yeah, it's upsetting that I got to sit there and raise 2 babies by myself. I'm 23 years old. You know how hard it is having 2 babies? I wish this on no one.
This is why in this court, when we try to talk to young women, just like yourself, when you laying down with any old body, They've made no commitment to you. You're not married, you're not in a relationship, nothing. And this is a hard thing that I have to tell young girls. If he hasn't said he wants you, why would you expect for him to say he wants children with you?
You're right.
It is a lot. I had my child when I was almost 40 years old, and I'm telling you, some days I didn't know whether I was coming or going. And I look at you at 20-something years old with 2 babies, one with a special need. I can only imagine. But I don't want you to speak negatively over your children. I never want you to do that as a mother. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, I want to understand what you presented to court today.
Okay, that's my expenses, like from their car seats, they strollers, clothes, bibs, everything.
And you've been doing this by yourself?
Yes, ma'am. There's formula. They both on different milk. So Carter formula is more expensive than Chloe's because Carter was in the NICU for 4 weeks. So they put him on another type of formula, which is like $32 a can.
Understood. So we've got clothes, baby needs, milk, toiletries, totaling $2,000, which is why you're suing Mr. Brown for $1,000 because he would be responsible for half if he's in fact the biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
On top of that, Ms. Mayo, you've also submitted to the court projected medical expenses for Chloe will be because you said she was born deaf.
Yes.
And so she's going to need support in the form of education. You're going to need special education classes to learn how to sign. You spoke about that. Hearing aid, and also an implant surgery.
Yes, Your Honor.
These expenses total $216,550, almost $250,000 to support this beautiful little girl. And this is just a piece. And I can see that it hurts you and it concerns you.
Mm-hmm.
And look, let's be honest, it's scary.
Very scary.
And now
he don't even know that. He just finding this out today. You think he cared? No.
I care when I hear the results.
Look, you the one set up in here when you came in here talking about, I'm just a kind person, Your Honor. Her other children, I just helped her out. So you're trying to tell me now that you have no empathy or compassion?
I got compassion.
For a young child that's born and can't hear?
Yeah, I got
and potentially,
I got compassion.
And this mother that used to be your friend and help you out is up against these type of expenses and challenges raising the children?
Show you what type of man he is because he don't care. He don't care.
Ms. Mayo, I have to ask you this before I go to the results. Mr. Brown's been honest about the fact that he just feels like he's unsure because you all had sex so quickly, unprotected. Well, she might have done it with somebody else. Is there anybody else?
No. No.
All right, let's go to the results. Ron, I'm ready.
Your Honor.
Because the twins are fraternal, that basically means that they are like siblings born at the same time. So we had to perform 2 separate DNA tests. Do you understand? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Mayo versus Brown, when it comes to 2-month-old Carter Mayo and 2-month-old Chloe Mayo, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Brown, you are the father.
What you gonna do now?
Man, you know I'm gonna take care of my children, man. Come on, man.
We'll see.
Well, let me say this before we adjourn. Mr. Brown, these are your biological children.
Yeah, I know that now.
All right? So you know that now for certain.
Yeah.
Because of that, you are required by law to take care of them.
I'm gonna take care of
financially,
my children.
and you also have the legal right to see them and be involved in their life. Ms. Mayo came to court suing for $1,000. That's half of the child rearing expenses. She presented evidence, and you in fact owe her that. For that reason, judgment is for the plaintiff for $1,000. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
I want to talk to you both in my chambers because this situation is serious. And I want to make sure you understand that she's going to need your help with these babies. And you're going to need to step up. I'll meet you in my chambers. Court is adjourned. Well, this is a beautiful sight.
Yes, it is.
How does it feel, Mr. Brown?
Yeah, they my children.
They are. Ms. Davis, you claim you got pregnant with Mr. Hamb's child after knowing him for only 2 months. You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that Mr. Hamb is the father of your 1-month-old baby, Jarrell Hamb Jr. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're suing him for $1,500 for the cost of the baby shower gifts that you say Mr. Hamb took from you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Hamb, you say Ms. Davis was dating 2 other men, and you are certain that you are not the father of her child.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Hamb, how can you be so sure this child is not yours?
First, Your Honor, I'd like to start off by giving you a little background of how me and Brandy met.
Please do.
I was in my car, just came from getting a haircut. I was looking good in my car. Me and Brandy has the same exact car, just different colors. She was looking pretty, too, I'm not gonna lie. She looking pretty in traffic. She flagged me down to stop me so we can switch numbers. When we switched numbers, we started talking on the phone within those same exact hours. So during that time, we agreed to meet up. When I'm thinking we meeting up, I'm thinking it's just gonna be me and Brandy. When I pull up to the lake, after we agreed, that's where we agreed to go to the lake. When I pull up at the lake, she got a whole crowd of people surrounding her car. So as I get closer, Miss Davis then comes and approaches my car. We start having a conversation. As me and Miss Davis having a conversation, one of her female friends comes up to the car and say, well, your boyfriend is getting upset due to the fact that you over here disrespecting him by talking to another man.
Did you remember someone coming up to you and saying your boyfriend's
nobody came
mad?
up to me. Nobody came up to me because it wasn't my boyfriend.
Did you have a boyfriend at the time?
Yes, I did have a boyfriend at the time.
You did?
But that wasn't him.
But that particular person wasn't him?
She had 2 boyfriends. That was just the first boyfriend. That was just the first boyfriend.
You mad?
That was just the first boyfriend. That was the first
my boyfriend.
Second boyfriend.
That was my
That's
first
the second
boyfriend.
So if your testimony, Mr. Hamb, she had more than one boyfriend.
Yes, Your Honor, and she's married too, and she's still technically married now. She's not divorced now, she's still technically married. And she had 2 boyfriends too. So this is why I'm in a point where, okay, this can't really be my child due to the fact that she had all these boyfriends, and then at the end of the day, I come to find she's married too. So I don't know what to believe.
At some point after you're at this lake and you start talking, you have a sexual relationship.
Ma'am, she got in the car with me, and we left that same day, and we had unprotected sex that same day. We had sex that same day. And after we had sex that day, we was like peas, she was on my heels, we was together.
Actually, how can you be with somebody after 2 days of knowing them? How can you be with somebody?
You
didn't even
slept
know
with
me
me the first day.
You didn't even. So what? You had.
So what? But you just
did
saying it was the
too.
second day.
Okay, look, you had unprotected.
And I'm not lying. Yeah, we did. The first day I met you.
How
I'm
can
not
you be
lying
in a
about
relationship
that.
with somebody you just met?
Okay.
Wow.
I'm not saying I was right for
Miss
sleeping
Davis.
for the first. I'm a
Yes,
guy.
Your Honor.
Miss Davis, you say there was another man, that you did have a boyfriend.
I had a whole boyfriend.
And a
That
husband.
treated
But
me
you
good.
also
husband separated.
So wait, you had a husband you were separated
I'm
from and a boyfriend, and you slept with Mr. Hamb on the second day?
Boyfriend legally separated. Second day, and yes, I did sleep with him. Yes, I did.
Okay. So you do understand why Mr. Hamb may have doubt?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Okay, good.
I do.
She already had boyfriends before she was even with me, and just like I say, when she get drunk, she's real sexual. When she get drunk, she gets so drunk that you can't. I am. If she was drunk right now, she would be passed out sleeping in front of the TV.
What's wrong with that?
I ain't gonna say we was
nothing
boyfriend and girlfriend,
I was
because
back
every
with my
time we
boyfriend.
tried to get serious or try to say, okay, well, you my girl, make a title for each other, it would always be something that's
We
stopping
never
her
had a
because
title.
with me being a player, I ain't gonna say being a player, with me being a
you
man,
was.
and
You
I like
did.
to talk to
You
women.
did.
It is hard. Go on and tell the truth.
Like I said, with me knowing how I like to talk to women.
You
I
had a
can't-
lot of women too. Boy, I
like
saw
said,
that phone.
Just knowing the fact that, okay, yeah, I'm starting to talk to her, but at the same time, I am fooling around with other females.
All right, take me to the point you find out you're pregnant.
I'm at work throwing up, sick. Couldn't take it, so I told asked my supervisor, can I go to the hospital? They took me to the hospital. I'm thinking I had food poisoning or something, and I was pregnant.
After you found out you were pregnant,
yes.
How did you tell Mr. Hamb?
I called his phone and told him I was pregnant. He was at work. I went to his job, and man was talking about it. He was happy, excited. Yes, I did. Went to your job. He was happy, excited.
So you felt like his reaction was
Yeah,
of
he
excitement?
was gonna be there. He was gonna help me out and do all this, regardless of the fact of what went on in the past. He was gonna be
And
there.
I gave her my
for
word.
me and my
I
first
gave her
son. I
my
have
word.
2 kids.
And due to the fact of what she was going through, I gave her my word as a man. And due to the fact that the situation with me and my father, I said, man, I'm gonna be here regardless of what me and you got going on. I'm finna be here for this child due to the fact I didn't have
But
nobody in
is
my
he
life.
here? Have he been here? He haven't been here.
But
he
Your
haven't
Honor,
been nothing.
I have
They don't
not-
talk about my first son,
So,
Your Honor.
Mr. Hamb, you told her you were going to be there.
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
But now you're in court saying the child is not yours.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
So tell me why you doubt it.
Well, me and her arguing, she told in front of my mother and auntie that this
No, I
was
didn't.
not my
I
child
never
when the
did that.
child was
That's a lie.
4 weeks old.
I never
she
did
told
that.
this in front of my mother and
I never
auntie.
did that.
And the
Never.
second time when we was arguing in front of her,
out of
at
anger.
her mother's
I said
house.
that to you out of anger. Out of anger, yes, Your Honor, I did say that twice.
And
out
then
of
the
anger.
second time
we
in front
argued,
of
he
her
make me
own
mad.
mother.
I'm like, you know,
All right,
not
one at
your
a
child.
time. I want to understand this. So you're saying, Mr. Hamb, that in front of your family member, she says
I did not say
that
that.
I was not the father of that
I
child.
said it to him in an argument.
It was getting heated, and to the point, she was like, you know what? I'm just be honest. This ain't even your child, so you ain't got to worry about being here in this child. You ain't got to worry about doing
No, I
nothing
didn't say it like that.
So I said,
I didn't say it
so
like
that's,
that. I
That's
didn't
when,
say it like
Nana,
that.
that's
Stop
when I
lying.
completely snapped, because at the
Stop
same
lying.
time, I'm in a 50 situation. Yeah, I want to be happy, but at the same time, I don't want to have nothing to do with it just because what she put me through.
You've admitted that at this time you had a husband.
Yes.
You had a boyfriend.
Two
Yes.
And you also
Actually, my husband, we separated.
separated,
Legally
but you had a
separated.
boyfriend, and you also were sleeping with Mr. Hamb.
Yes, I was.
Were you
Unprotected.
sleeping with any of the other
No,
men?
My boyfriend.
All
my
four
boyfriend. My boyfriend
So
and him.
you do admit today that during the window of conception, you were sleeping with
I
your
stopped sleeping with
boyfriend
my
and Mr.
boyfriend.
Hamb.
I stopped sleeping with my boyfriend the beginning of July. I say July 10th, around that time.
Hold on. Let me get my calendar. Can you think back, when was the window of time you and Mr. Hamb were intimate? Were you having unprotected?
We was
All
having
day, every
unprotected-
day.
Yes, we was. And
All day, every day.
Because of me.
Like I said,
because
once
of
I had
me,
sex with
yes,
her
Your
first
Honor.
night, before
Miss
August
Davis,
2. Before
Miss
August 2.
Davis, around what time were you in this relationship? Did it begin?
It wasn't a
It wasn't a real
until I got
relationship.
pregnant. Until I
All
got
right, and
pregnant.
so
It wasn't even a relationship
around the
then.
time you got pregnant, when your baby was conceived, what was the month?
August
So
20,
she's-
around August 25th.
The last week in August, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right, so the last week in August. Now, Mr. Hamb,
Yes, ma'am.
you do agree that you were having sex during
sex with her, yes.
the last week of August with Ms. Davis.
It was a whole
Yes.
month of August, a whole month before August 2.
Boy, you was hitting
So,
Yes.
so the whole month of August. All right,
ma'am.
just circle the whole month. All right,
ma'am.
now,
And
Miss
before August 2.
Davis,
Before
Miss
August 2.
Davis, when were you intimate with anyone else? Were you intimate
The
with
same
anyone
time.
My
else?
boyfriend, yes, my boyfriend.
same
And when was that?
I said the
The
beginning
same
of
time.
July, around July 10th, around that time. That was the last time we had sex.
Ms. Davis, you're saying you were still sleeping with your boyfriend in July.
Yeah, yes, in the beginning.
And
of
then
July.
you started sleeping with Mr. Hamb in August or late July.
No,
We been
beginning of
started-
July.
we
Beginning
been-
of July.
We had sex, the first time we had sex was the second day we met, and we was having sex on and on every day.
And then but you were also having sex with your boyfriend
Yeah.
during
Yes.
that time.
And her
And I
other
stopped in
boyfriend,
July.
too.
He broke up with me in July.
So now you say Jarrell was born early.
He was born in May. I conceived him at the end of August, and I was not.
And
next
that
to my
was
boyfriend. We broke
earlier
up.
than anticipated?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
And so that is what adds to your doubt.
That put red lights, red beams, everything off in my head. I was in a 50-50 situation. Like, yeah, this could be, man, but at the same time, it's too early.
So you felt like when Jarrell was born, the date he was born was too early
Yes,
for
ma'am.
the window of time that you were sleeping with her.
Yeah, she was spending time with me, but at the same time, she was spending time with somebody else during the same time she was spending with me. So I can't sit up here and say, yeah, I'm 100% sure that this is my baby.
Part of your claim is about a baby shower. So at some point, you had to be excited about the baby. You had to feel
Now,
like...
the baby shower, let's bring up the story about the baby shower. The baby shower, I did not even want until after the baby was here, until I found out it was mine. She went behind my back and talked to my family after I told her not to even, this is
But
my
at
mom.
some point, you had a baby shower.
Due to the fact that she talked my family into it.
I never
And
had-
I got into it with my
Ms.
family.
Davis, did you talk his family
Your
into
Honor,
giving a baby shower for the
Your Honor,
baby?
No, I did not. I didn't even know they were throwing me the baby shower. They begged me to come to the baby shower because me and him previously got into it. We got into an argument. He like, don't come to this baby shower. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not coming. The day before the baby shower, his mom and his sister called my phone begging me to come. They said it's not a baby shower without you there.
They did.
We talked to Jarrell.
Because
He's
you
gonna
still
act
pregnant
right.
at the time.
Yeah, I was still
Yeah.
pregnant. I was 8 months.
Well, yeah, you gonna have a baby shower without the baby?
Yeah,
ma'am,
yeah, I said the
Baby
same
is-
thing.
Yeah, but man, due to the fact that me not knowing that this is my baby, I didn't even want to be around. So I calmed down and said, you know what? Y'all go ahead and invite her. Let her come.
And Ms. Davis, you went.
I went. Me, my sister, and my cousin, we went to the baby shower. And Your Honor, I didn't get nothing from that baby shower. Nothing. Nothing
It's
came
not
to me.
for you, it's for the baby.
Everything came to him. The baby stayed with me. I should have got the stuff that came to my house. All the stuff went to his house. And
So all the gifts that were given to the baby
didn't
at the
come to me.
baby shower
Didn't come to me at all.
didn't leave with the baby.
No.
Right, because it was bought by my
They did.
family and me.
So you say you showed up to the baby shower
Yes.
because they said they really wanted you to be there.
Yes. And they said they go control his mouth.
Everybody, they said they were going to control his
mouth.
Well, that's a
He don't
job.
talk to me and I don't
I'm
talk to
trying
him.
to do that right now. You showed up, people brought gifts for the baby,
Yes.
but then when you left, they kept the gift.
I didn't get nothing. The only thing I gave Your Honor was
And it's a
5.
reason.
Okay,
Wait.
can I talk? The only thing I got was 5 gift cards and a check for $45.
And the basis of your suit is that he took all of the things that were given to the baby
Yes, Your
at
Honor.
the shower.
And I have a list of all the stuff that I
I'd
didn't
like
get.
to see that list. Please, Jerome, please hand that to me.
Yep.
So what types of items are outlined in this list, Ms.
Baby
Davis?
shower, the stroller, car seat, clothes, shoes,
But Your Honor,
diapers, milk.
It's a reason
And
why
I
he
didn't
felt
get
that way.
nothing.
So these are the gifts that
It's
were
more- it's more on the
presented that
side.
day?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
And even
It's
more
more.
than that?
Yes.
Yes.
So ultimately, Mr. Hamb, you do acknowledge that your family came through a baby shower, gave gifts to the baby, but because you say you weren't certain whether or not the child was yours, you decided not to give the gifts to her,
Yes,
to
Your
the
Honor.
baby.
Yes, Your Honor. And at the same time, anywhere I go, I was gonna have to take the gifts to her because she had a car full of her friends and anything. So she didn't have nowhere to put the gifts.
But you admit you took them.
I took them to my house. I took the gifts to my
Did
house.
you ever get those gifts, Ms. Davis?
No, I didn't get nothing.
So, Ms. Davis, you're saying the value of those gifts was $1,500, am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Hamb, do you agree that the value of these gifts were about $1,500?
Just about, yes, ma'am.
About?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The point is this. There was a possibility that she was pregnant with your child.
Yes, ma'am.
Your family stepped up and did what they thought was the
And I
right
did
thing
too.
and
And I
had a
did too.
baby
You did.
shower
Yes.
for a baby that might be yours. And at that shower, they gave gifts to the baby.
Right.
Key word is give. Once you give a gift, you cannot take it back. At this time, based on the evidence you presented, I have no choice but to rule in favor of the plaintiff for $1,500 because those gifts belong to the baby.
Okay, when you say I took,
You need to return the gifts, or you need to give her $1,500, which is the value of the gifts because you testified that that was the value, whether or not you're the child's father. The law is the law. And at the end of the day, you slept with a woman without using protection. Now, I personally think you should be happy and proud that you have a family that would step up to the plate after you have acted so irresponsibly, excuse me, and still give gifts to a child when they don't even know for certain if the baby is yours because they're doing the right thing for the baby. Now, you got to do the right thing by the law. You either give her $1,500 or return the things. That's my ruling. I'm done with it. Judgment for the plaintiff. Now, I often ask in this courtroom, do you feel like the baby resembles you?
No, I do not.
You don't?
No, I do not. It's quite a few guys who I might think about because all the guys she messed with is light skinned except this one guy, he's dark skinned. And like I said, the baby is light skinned. So the dark skinned guy, he out the picture, but at the same time, she was still messing with him during the same time she was messing with me. So it's kind of hard to put him out the picture too. And then I see the baby's starting to get darker too. Because he was so light when he first came out, they had to put him on light.
Mr. Hamb, you better go on ahead and present some evidence.
What do you mean?
Bottom line, because that entire testimony that you just gave about the color of the baby and he's browning up,
I'm
and
just saying, like,
you do understand that children are born in various colors, shades. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Especially as African Americans, you
But the
understand.
baby also gonna look like one of the parents. That baby don't look like her and it don't look like me. So
Okay.
it must look like the father.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Davis versus Hamb, pertaining to 2-month-old Jarrell Hamb Jr., it has been determined by this court. Mr. Hamb, you are Jarrell's father.
Like I said, I don't have no problem with stepping up, but at the same time, I can't be in this child's life if she's trying to control me with this child.
It has been determined by this court that you are this child's biological father, which means as a father, you have rights.
But
listen, stop talking so much and listen. You have to take care of this baby financially, but you also will have the legal right to see the child. If you all can't work together, then you will have recourse in your home state to go to court and fight for visitation and a chance to help to raise your child. Ms. Davis, you have to let him be a part of this child's life because it's his child.
I never kept him from this baby. I never kept him one time from this baby. Never. He always get mad. And he never want to come get the baby. He come see the baby for an hour or two and leave.
Mr. Benning, you recently appeared in couples court and it was confirmed that the defendant cheated on you. This infidelity has caused questions regarding your 2-year-old daughter, Robin, and 6-month-old son, Jermaine Jr.'s paternity. Although you are hopeful that both are your children, you now have doubts. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bodine, you claim that you are certain the plaintiff is Robin and Jermaine Jr.'s father and have evidence to support your claim. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Benning, tell me about your relationship with your daughter, Robin, and how these paternity doubts are affecting you.
Well, first off, Your Honor, my mother passed away when I was 14 years old. She was my best friend. We spent every waking moment together. And after she died, it, left me hurt. I always wanted a daughter, and I promised I was going to take care of her and treat her like my mother took care of me.
Oh, that's
so
wonderful.
I've always stuck by with that.
So having a daughter has been so important to you.
So important. I waited for this.
And tell me about that relationship.
We are so close. She's goofy. She loves daddy. She's a daddy's baby. We love to play, chase each other around. Goldfish is our snack. We love goldfish.
It's our snack.
Yeah,
I love how you
snack.
said that. And what else?
I've just always been there. Always been there. No matter what Robin needed, I'm always there for her.
And so tell me about the day you first found out she was pregnant.
Well, when she first came home and told me she was pregnant, I was excited. Especially once we found out that it was a girl. That's something that I've always wanted. That hyped me up. I couldn't ask for anything else than that. That's my world.
So, Ms. Bodine, Mr. Benning says he was so excited when you told him you were pregnant. At that time, did you know there could be any other possibility?
No, Your Honor. I admit I did cheat. But for certain, he's the father. We was together while I got pregnant with Robin, and I know for certain he's the father.
It actually happened during labor, Your Honor. I was in the hospital sitting across from Kayla. She was pushing this baby out, and I received a text from a guy telling me to leave the hospital because that's his baby and he needs to be there.
What?
I am in labor, literally in the hospital, and I received a text telling me that the child that I'm waiting to come isn't mine.
And so you get the text and you know who it's from.
Yes.
What do? You can't say anything to Ms. Bodine while she's in labor, can you?
I just kept going and I signed her birth certificate.
So you just kept going through the entire experience?
I pushed through it. I wanted my daughter and I wasn't letting anybody take her from me.
So even though you had the doubts, you had to know, you had to feel the doubt at that time.
Yes, it started to sink in, but I thought through it.
But you were just too excited and you said, I'm not gonna let anybody steal my joy today.
Right.
So, Ms. Bodine, this other man sent a text to Mr. Benning while he's by your side at the hospital. How do you know this other guy is not the biological father?
Because, Your Honor, I stood up and did the woman and the mother think I had to do and got the other guy tested.
Oh, so you had a DNA test on the other guy already?
Yes, and he wasn't the father.
And you submitted those results to the court?
Yes, I did, Your
All
Honor.
right. The results read that the probability of paternity between you and this other guy is 0%.
Yes.
So he was not the father?
No, he wasn't, because Jermaine's the father.
All right. So, Mr. Benning, you still build the relationship, but you still have a doubt?
Yes, quite a few. First off, the DNA test doesn't mean anything considering the fact that she's cheated on me with more than one person.
Oh.
There could be other guys out there, that's just one, you know?
Now, that's the plot twist.
As well as, Your Honor, anytime that something's wrong, I'm also reminded, oh, you're not her father. As soon as we start to argue, you're not her father, but if you need something, I'm the father.
You say stuff to hurt my feelings, why can't I do it to you?
Have I ever told you that you're not the parent of your kid?
You can't, I pushed him out.
Okay. So you're just gonna stab me in the back and tell me that I'm not the father of the kid that I take care of?
This is why we're here today, to prove it.
Let's prove it then.
Okay, let's prove it then. She looks just like your mom.
Mr. Benning, I do want you to explain to Miss Bodine, because I feel like, Miss Bodine, to say someone is not the father of a child, now that's a little below the belt.
That's not just hurting somebody's feelings,
Yeah.
it's ruining somebody's life.
And I want you to tell her what that feels like so she can understand. What does that feel like when she says that to you, Mr. Benning?
That little girl right there is my mother come back to be with me.
And
when
she
you
looks
tell me
just
that,
like your
when you tell me
mother.
she's not mine, it feels like you're taking my mother away from me again.
Look at them. Look. They're twins.
She's beautiful.
They are.
They do look a lot alike.
So, Mr. Benning, explain what the doubt feels like, having to live with it every day.
Yeah, I had to change her diaper and look at her and play with her, and she's calling me daddy, and there's something in the back of my head saying she might not be. You know, there's a text message on my phone saying she's not yours. There's people calling me on my phone saying I'm her dad. You know, it's constant. It's just constant, and
Well, this is why we're here to prove it.
after a certain time, you can't just ignore it anymore. It just keeps happening. It's hard to ignore. Very hard.
Why are all these people calling Mr. Benning saying the child isn't his?
I don't know. I cannot control what other people say. I know what I'm saying, and I know what I proved. So you have your doubt or not. I'm here to prove today that you're the father.
Because you are just 100% certain.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Bodine says she is 100% certain. That doesn't make your doubt subside?
I don't trust the thing that really comes out of her mouth. I really don't. And to be honest with you, after all this has happened, you know, depending on the doubts with Robin, I wouldn't know about my son as well.
I think it's important that we get this family some clarity.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
I think we need to first go to Robin's results. Jerome, I'm ready for the envelope. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. You are shaking.
I know.
I feel your nervousness from here. Are you okay?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm perfect.
Okay.
I just want to get it out there. I want to know the truth. She deserves it. She deserves everything.
In the case of Benning versus Bodine, when it comes to 23-month-old Robin Benning, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Benning, you are not the father. I'm very sorry.
It doesn't matter. I'm still gonna be there. I'm lonely when she calls Daddy. You can't change it. We spent 2 years together. You can't change that. You can't take that away.
You said earlier that if Robin was not your biological child, it causes you to doubt whether or not you truly are the biological father of Jermaine Benning Jr. And because of that doubt, the court wants to make sure when you leave here, you have the whole truth.
I think I deserve at least that, Your Honor.
Can you describe some of the circumstances that lead you to doubt baby Jermaine? Is there anything else in addition to the fact that we've now learned that Robin is not your biological daughter?
On top of that, the same thing with the, texting me, telling me I'm not the father. I even received a text telling me after he was born, which I still went through the whole labor, everything. After that, after all that, I get a text telling me, I want a paternity test for Jermaine too. Like, why would you say that if
And
that's
that
my
was
junior?
submitted to the court.
Yes, it was, Your Honor.
There was a text to you, Mr. Benning, that says, I'm filing papers for a DNA test on Jermaine. That'll cause paternity doubt
Indeed.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yes, Your Honor, it sure does. Every day.
You sent that text, Ms. Bodine?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Did you send it for good reason, or were you just being vindictive and mean?
Vindictive and mean? Trying to hurt your feelings? We had gotten to an argument and he said stuff. Could may or may not been true.
No,
well,
they're not arguments. These are not arguments that these texts come from. These are, Jermaine, can you come over and hang out? I don't want to. Well, fine, they're not your kids anyway.
So, Mr. Benning, I want to ask, were you there for Jermaine Jr.'s birth?
Yes, I was in the hospital.
Did you sign that birth certificate
I
too?
did sign his birth certificate. He has
And
my
that's
first name.
been
and
submitted
he's a
to the
junior.
court? Jermaine Truth Benning Jr., your concern is that the truth is
That he's
you
not
are
mine.
not his biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You stepped up for these kids. I mean, you have gone above and beyond. And now you love Jermaine. This is your namesake.
That's my little man.
So, Ms. Bodine, you admitted there were some doubts with Robin.
Yes.
Even though you felt in your heart Mr. Benning was the father. But for Jermaine Jr., you say you are certain.
Certain. There's no doubt in my mind or my heart that he's not his.
So what are your hopes for today?
That he's his, and that either way, because Robin's not his and we found that out, either way that he's still in part of her life because she's 2. That's your decision if you don't want to be there. But I don't want to go home and tell my 2-year-old daughter that her father is not going to be there no more. They're attached. She cries when he walks out the room. I cannot break her heart like that. I can't, and I won't. I'm not the type of person.
Well, that one last statement. Just stop it. I won't break her heart like that. We're going to work on you not being that type of person, right?
Right.
All right. Mr. Benning, what are your hopes?
I hope Jermaine's mine. I really do. It'd be good to know at least one of my kids is mine. Yeah. I'm looking forward to spending all the time I can with him.
All right. Well, let's get these results. Jerome, I'm ready for the envelope. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Benning versus Bodine, when it comes to 6-month-old Jermaine Benning Jr., it has been determined by this court. Mr. Benning, you are not the father.
What the?
Oh. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Benning.
I got cribs and playpens and toys, and I've done everything that I do, and
Ms. Bodine, do you know who Jermaine Jr.'s father is?
No, Your Honor. I didn't know that was going to come out like that.
Well, you may not have known, but if it's not Mr. Benning, and it's not, do you know, keep track of, have an understanding, recollection, memory of the other people you were sleeping with during that time?
No.
Because you said
we
no?
were together during that time.
You said you don't have that? You don't know?
No, Your Honor.
I'm asking this as respectfully as I can. When you say you don't know, like, you don't remember sleeping with people, or is it just that there were so many you can't remember? Or what is it? Because at this point, I hope you go and find the biological fathers for your children, because the same way Mr. Benning gets those texts and all those people in his ear, that's how they do the kids. Sometimes people can be very cruel. And the next thing somebody wanna come drop a dime that you know, Jermaine ain't your daddy. I don't know why people can be so cruel, but we hear it over and over again. And you never want that to come to your child that way, when you could have told them. You too could have told them, all right?